Once upon a time, a writer walked into a coffee shop. He sat down with his notebook, ready to watch and write. A man named John, who was a big businessman, came in and said to the waiter, "I'd like 2 coffees, please. One for me and one for the wall." The waiter nodded and said, "Sure thing." He prepared 1 coffee and placed it on the counter. The writer was puzzled and wondered if the man was joking. Then the waiter printed a bill for 2 coffees. One was for the man's coffee, and the other was for the coffee for the wall. The waiter wrote 1 cup coffee on a piece of paper and stuck it on the wall. Later that day, 2 friends came into the coffee shop. They ordered 3 meals. One of them said, "1 for me, 1 for my friend, and 1 for the wall." The waiter smiled and said, "Coming right up." He served 2 meals to the friends and wrote 1 meal on a piece of paper, then stuck it on the wall. The writer, who had been watching, was even more curious. Throughout the day, more customers came in. Some ordered extra coffees, meals, or pastries for the wall. Each time, the waiter wrote down the item on a piece of paper and stuck it to the growing collection on the wall. At the end of the week, an poor elderly man who could barely walk came in. He was hoping to get some food. When he saw the wall with the papers, a big smile spread across his face. He sat on a chair, showed a paper to the waiter, and asked, "Can I have this, please?" The waiter smiled warmly and said, "Of course." He quickly prepared a meal for the old man. The elderly man ate his meal happily and left the coffee shop looking much better. The writer finally understood the purpose of the wall. Years later, the businessman John, who once had a great business, lost his money. Feeling sad and hungry, he walked into the same coffee shop where he had once paid for others. John, now dressed in old clothes and looking much older, saw the wall filled with papers. He felt hope and relief as he approached the wall. He carefully took one of the papers and walked up to the counter. "Can I have this, please?" John asked the waiter, holding out the paper. The waiter smiled warmly and said, "Of course." He quickly prepared a meal for John. John sat down at a table, ate his meal with gratitude, and left the coffee shop looking much happier and stronger. The moral of the story proves the point. What goes around comes around. When you do something kind for others, like paying for their food or drinks, that kindness can come back to you in unexpected ways. Just as the man who helped others found help when he needed it most, your good deeds can return to you when you face difficult times. So, always remember to be generous and caring, because the kindness you show will eventually come back to make a difference in your life.